Welcome to The Unhinged.
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 The Unhinged Potty.
Welcome to The Unhinged Potty. Today I have my new sister-in-law sitting with me, Abha. Hi, Abha.
Hi.
Abha is an up-and-coming fashion designer. She does menswear labels, and her designs and her ideology to do those things is just fantastic. And she is here to talk about fashion a little bit, and we'll deep dive into some intellectual conversation around it. Thank you so much for coming, Abha. We'll do this in multiple parts, and there will be a few topics we'll try and cover. So tell me a little bit about your brand, Abha.
So my brand it's called Antique East. It speaks about the fashion diaspora between European and Indian fashion. It goes back to the time when Britishers invaded India for a very long period and how the Indian fashion changed and vice versa. So I take that whole study and I'm trying to depict all of that in my silhouettes and my colors and in my entire traditional craftsmanship.
Why is it spelled in a different way? Because I know it sounds antique, but it's spelled different. Why that particular spelling?
So that's a good question. So antique, obviously instead of I-Q-U-E, it's I-E-K, which actually comes from Dutch. And it was just something that really attracted me as a spelling and as a word, and also how when I was actually branding it with East. And antique, of course, we all know what antique means. It's a vintage thing and something came from a very older time.
I did not know about antique being Dutch. I was actually saving this question when you came on the podcast. It's a family name now, and I did not know the story. So this is fun. This is fascinating. So it's antique,
A-N-T-I-E-K.
Yes,
antique.
Instead of the traditional spelling of antique. But that's fascinating. So it started as a menswear label, but we aim to make it more gender fluid. Yes.
Yeah, it started as a passionate graduation project, and it was strictly menswear because I was just doing tailored suitings. And now, because I just want to reach out to a much more fluid market, it's obviously aiming as more gender fluid. In fact, what I'm wearing today is one of my pieces, including yours. And it's just beautiful how the market is responding now, especially women and other genders as well. It's just not like sitting in menswear wardrobe.
Yes, I am indeed wearing one of your designs. This one has been very popular from your first student collection. Everybody, and I mean everybody who's seen this, they've asked for this to be borrowed to wear for their events. And literally everybody in my DMs was asking me where I got the jacket. And I was so proud to say my sister-in-law made it. So this was amazing. You definitely aim to get more sustainable sources of your raw materials. You try and be conscious of everything, and I know for a fact that that's not cheap. First of all, it's not easy to source, it's not cheap, it's also hard to sometimes incorporate into certain silhouettes and to maintain further down the line, but it does have a long life. And I know you've studied dyeing techniques and how the materials are made in the first place. So you're passionate about the sourcing of all of these, right from how they're made, how they reach you. What is the hardest part trying to do the right thing then?
There comes a time, even in my journey, where I'm like bound to take a decision, especially financially, because I have to pay extra for getting things naturally dyed versus chemically dyed. And of course, it's easier for me just to choose a chemically dyed fabric, but it's not ethically right for me to be choosing a chemically dyed fabric. And those are the decisions at a very early stage when I was starting a brand. And I wouldn't say I'm a completely 100% sustainable brand. I'm not producing everything in Melbourne, so things are sourced from India. The part of it where I'm trying to get things sourced naturally, which is hand woven, hand spun, and then getting things dyed naturally, then also the printing techniques that I'm using, just trying to sticking to even the smallest parts. For example, my labels that I'm doing, they're all printed by me and they're all hand stitched and hand frayed, which is a very hard process. I could have easily gone to some local vendor and asked them to do like 1,000 MOQ for me. But I think that's the beauty of my brand, and that's where I want to stick to. And I really hope that I stick to that for a lifelong journey with my brand.
In trying to be ethical, I know the conversation always goes around how expensive it is as a consumer. Like, my first thought would be, yes, everything is sustainable, everything is done ethically and all that jazz. But then it costs me 3 figures. It costs me 500, give or take, for one piece. Me as an average consumer, first of all, would always think about money first, as we all do.
Yeah.
And my other thought would be, it's just one piece. I understand you have made your peace with what kind of market you would be marketing this to. Who is your customer base? They have to value how unique and how priceless these pieces tend to get, because they will wear beautifully no matter how many times you wash them, how many times you get them cleaned, how you wear them. The whole jazz, I don't think is understandable or comprehensible by an average consumer.
Yeah.
And this is no shade to the average consumer, but that's the reality. I think people want to look new every time they wear something, every time they get dressed. They want to look like a new person, and the easiest way to look like a new person is to wear a new outfit. And it just doesn't go. I think if you want to increase quantity, it has to be cheap. In order to be cheap, you're gonna have to make compromises, and in doing that, I feel like you sell your soul if you're passionate about the back end of it, especially as a designer who's not in it just to make money, but to also respect the art of everything.
Totally. And I'd say that, like, I don't expect the majority of the crowd to be buying my pieces because I understand they're expensive. And it's a very psychology thing, like the crowd in general. If they are someone who would like to wear a new outfit for every event, that is probably not my consumer or my audience at all. I'm looking to sell it to someone who actually values a garment which will actually go for generations. Mind you, what you're wearing right now will actually go for decades, because the quality that I've given you, the thing that you're wearing, is something which is not going to destroy it very easily. It's something you can actually, in any climate that you're wearing, the kind of things that I'm providing, it is actually going to go for generations. And the price that I'm asking for that particular garment is not much. And I understand, in fact, I was kind of person where I would want to just buy a cheaper clothing and, eventually just, when I was like, of course, a teenager or younger, like I would look at these grown-up women and I was like, okay, even I want that something to do with trend and all of that. But then if I look back and I'd look at even my mother, who owns about 50 silk saris, and I never bought a sari till actually I got married.
Right.
I would wear only her sari, and she has, and I've worn her saris, which is like 25, 30 years old, and they're still the best quality.
Vintage.
And I would just like style it with some random thing. And that's something that I have understood growing up, that quality is everything. Quantity is nothing. I have reached a point where I don't shop like some insane person and I go every month and shop. I actually save up for things. If it's something it's very expensive and I really wanted, for example, a bag or a jacket or whatever, I save it for 6 months and then I go. If it is hell expensive, I do that. But you have to understand that is a piece that nobody else would be owning. It is all yours. It's something not a mass crowd like H&M and Zara are going to be owning.
That's another thing. Like, I reached a point where I would say, if everybody has it, I don't want it.
Exactly.
And that happens in Australia so much, and people are going to come at me for this. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I feel like Australian general public, at least girls, all I see around me is kind of wearing the same thing. That's out in the shops. And I understand trends are easy, where you don't have to use your brain and you just can pick it up and you know it's going to look smart. And it does. It looks smart. But if nobody else was wearing it, would I wear it? No, hell no. If everybody stopped wearing snakeskin, whatever, that was a rage a few years ago, I would not be caught dead wearing it. Just
and that's where personal styling comes in.
I don't think enough people are selling the idea of personal style. Everybody wants to sell some item or the other. That's the whole point of influencing. People started the concept thinking that this has no agenda, but then the agenda was to sell more.
Yeah.
to sell more and more. I understand at some point you're gonna have to buy new clothing,
Yeah.
but not because of trend.
Yeah.
Focus more on basics, but I don't think that's the mindset that you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
And under capitalism, under consumerism, there's no real ethical way of doing
Yeah.
shit. I'm guilty of buying shit from Shein,
Yeah.
from AliExpress, everywhere, because I have used shopping as therapy to fill a void when I was at my lowest.
Yeah.
And I know all of us are guilty for doing that too.
Yeah.
But even in doing that, I have Shein shit that I wear even now, and I bought it like almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I know what kind of stuff I picked from there, and there's other stuff that I had to give into donation.
Yeah. That's another form of sustainability, I'd say, if you're actually keeping things and wearing them for a longer period rather than throwing them off just because it doesn't stand the value. Or in fact, buying things from a secondhand shop, like getting things from thrift stores. You're actually, so that's what I'm trying to say. It's always not about choosing the right material just because you carry the ethic of sustainability. Sustainability comes in various forms. If you're buying things from thrift stores, you're actually giving it a second life, which is great. You're giving a full garment a second life, could be a third life, in fact, you don't know. But
Absolutely.
you're getting it from thrift stores, that's where you're saving up. Then if you bought something, even if it's not the best of the qualities that it is supposed to be, but you're actually wearing it. In fact, I got some of my sportswear, I kid you not, they have been with me and I still wear it every week for like
Right?
12 years.
Yeah.
It has been with me for 12 years. The color has slightly faded, of course, but it's fine. I still wear them and I feel I could still wear it because it just fits me the same way.
Totally. My own wardrobe, close to 40 now.
Yeah.
My own wardrobe is vintage. I go shopping in my own wardrobe. I have
Imagine.
stuff from when I was in uni. I have stuff since before my marriage.
Same,
The
yeah.
marriage ended, but my wardrobe still keeps going strong. I have saris from before I got married. I have pants from before I got married. Mind you, it's privilege that shit fits me still.
Yeah.
But the quality,
Yeah.
like only now I'm starting to see the seams starting to fray a little bit,
Yeah.
the seams starting to gape a little bit, but it lasts.
Yeah.
The quality stuff that was made before on an average is not the case anymore.
Yeah.
They use cheap fabric, cheap material to stitch up.
Yeah.
They have shabby finishing jobs. You can see frayed edges already.
Yeah.
You can see the loose threads. And the material that they use, it's simply not designed to hold any stitching in the first place. It's too much mixed polyester, viscose, everything, which is just shit. But the actual fabric that you'll find in a thrift store or in your own wardrobe, if you're a hoarder like me, the quality is very different and it still looks classic.
Yeah.
It still fits you. That's another thing to sell to younger people. Cultivate personal style. It's going to take some studying. It's going to take some awareness, some conversation, some actual paying attention. But it's going to serve you better if you want to stand out.
Yeah.
Again, I think a lot of people are not looking to stand out.
Yes.
They're looking to blend.
That's why I also want to just add where you talk about like fabrics getting frayed or the stitches coming out. That's another part of sustainability, which is repurposing your own things, like upcycling. And nowadays, I don't know if you actually look at Instagram, TikTok, there's so many people who are actually doing upcycling themselves. And I recently saw a man who had like an H&M puffer jacket, which was like 12 years old, and he just painted that and put in some beads or whatever.
That's
and
when H&M used to be half decent, by the way.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
And he wore that jacket in some event and it looks so classic. And that's what I mean. I mean, you don't always have to be sad about the fact that, okay, that garment has torn now and you have to just go and buy another piece. You could actually repurpose it. So that's where I think education as well as
Some
also some
creativity.
sort of patience with your own wardrobe as well. And also coming to a fact, like I have reached a point very early at my age. Is that a need or is that a want? When I go to a shop now and I really like something, I have to ask myself 5 times again, do I really like it? And do I really need that? I was doing this study, like an online course with University of London. and they spoke about how food courts are always on the top floor of a mall.
Yes.
It's very interesting.
Yes.
Hear it out. So nobody could answer, like, of course, it could be any whatever random reason. It's because when you're hungry, you often to shop more. Or when you're in a foul mood or whatever. And it's actually a thing. When I'm hungry, I actually end up buying random shit. And that's why they keep the food courts on the top floor, because by the time you reach there, you would see 100 other shops. Yeah. And that's a marketing strategy for them. But actually, when you know this thing, you could actually avoid. I mean, end up
plan it.
Exactly. Plan your meal or whatever. And it might sound really funny, but it is the fact. Like, you can't be shopping just because you're in a foul mood or you don't understand whether you need that thing or not.
Somebody said this a while ago. Whenever you see a piece, immediately try and make 5 outfits from it.
Yeah.
Immediately go through your wardrobe mentally and list what this particular piece is going to be complementing.
Yeah.
If it's a top, what items is it going to look good with? Because if you just like the top, but then nothing goes with it, then you're going to have to buy a bottom as well.
100%.
Like pants, skirts, whatever the hell. That's not a good idea. I have started doing that since a few years, and I stopped buying random crap. Another good call: take a friend, take somebody you trust to be sensible, and they will knock sense. You have saved me from so many stupid purchases because I was like, nah, this looks nice. And she's like, of course it looks nice.
But you don't need that, Rasi.
Yeah, but you don't need that. It's looking nice because it's complementing your shape. But you don't need this. You already have something similar.
Exactly.
Like, but this looks, no. It's going to make you look snatched. It's going to make anybody look snatched, but you need it.
And use that money for travel, I always say.
You buy something when you travel. You go and find a vintage store there and buy it. This is what I need.
Yeah.
Either take somebody trustworthy with you. They're going to reason, rationale. And even after them putting doubts in your head, if you still want that piece, then maybe it's true love. But most of the times, it's just not.
It's just not.
Just drop it.
90% times it's not. And
90%, that's a lot.
And that gives us another term for sustainability: timeless fashion.
Timeless.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's looking for timeless either. I don't think, again, personal style plays a huge role in this.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not in the market to develop personal style. They just want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. The masses need to be sold something, and there's always going to be a small subset or a large subset who is just starting out and is like, okay, I want to pay attention to how I look. Tell me what to shop. Tell me what's looking good, and I'm on a budget.
Yeah.
Even on a budget, learn to pair things, layer things, accessorize things.
Yeah.
There's so many aspects of it. And I have now been doing this for years and years. I would go to Pinterest.
Yeah.
And shout out, because it has saved so many girls and boys' lives, and it's amazing for inspiration.
Yeah.
Go to Pinterest, and I would start with just one piece.
Yeah.
Style pencil skirt, style grey skirt.
Yeah.
And you go and fixate on a particular piece, a particular silhouette, like pencil, or a skirt.
Yeah.
Or you fixate on a color. And if you go to Pinterest or on Google and say yellow color palette, yellow and green color palette, use these words, use color scheme and color palette to pair whatever is your mood today. If you want to know how to style your gray skirt, just go to gray color scheme, gray color palette, and tons of options will come up. You study them, you record them in your brain. Slowly over time, you will begin to develop taste. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It comes from observation. It comes from consciously looking at things, consciously paying attention. We are so used to just mindlessly going
shopping
through things.
Yeah.
If something is looking good on somebody, why is it looking good? A lot of the times it's their body being the aesthetic. And you have to admit that a lot of shit that I would like when I was younger was on model bodies. A lot of tall giraffe looking girls, gorgeous, but their hair is an accessory. The way they stand, the way their stature is, the way their height is an accessory.
Yeah.
It makes even a rucksack look good.
Yeah.
Admit it and move on. It took me a long time to even admit certain silhouettes are not going to be my silhouette. Certain necklines will not complement my bust, and so on.
It takes a lot of research, study, time, age, everything.
And acceptance.
Like, of course.
Acceptance.
And I feel like, of course, how you said Pinterest, there are so many spaces where you could educate yourself through magazines, through trend forecasts, many things.
Absolutely.
And you have to understand things. Like, I haven't thrown a lot of things from my wardrobe.
Right.
But there are things which I haven't even worn for 5 years now.
Ay,
But I
been
know
there.
for a fact, but because it's such an amazing quality, I don't want to throw it. It's a very nostalgia for me to be
It's
throwing
an
those
attachment
pieces.
issue.
Yeah.
I have been there.
But I know for sure that it's just gonna be back someday, and I have to start wearing it again. Flared jeans came back this season,
Oh.
which was a very big thing in 90s and even 2000s.
When I was wearing, my
And-
mother said, "Ye maine bhi pehni hui hai."
Yeah.
Which means I have grown up wearing this.
Yeah.
And I did not take it seriously. Just like the kids
Yeah.
right now are not taking it seriously when we
Yeah.
are saying it.
100%. And I have had flare jeans in my wardrobe again for like 8 years. And I wore it. I stopped wearing it. I wore it again just day before we went to that film
Yeah.
festival. It may not be great that I'm keeping things in my wardrobe. Of course, it's just killing so much space. But it's also something that it was such an amazing quality that it stayed for more than 8 years. And it's still there.
And you know the cycle.
Yeah.
Being in fashion, being conscious.
Yeah.
and
I know it's gonna
aware of
come back.
fashion,
Yeah.
You know it's going to come back. Keep
Yeah.
one really snatched, good looking pair of skinny jean in your wardrobe.
Always. Yeah.
A flared pant
Yeah.
type of design in your wardrobe. Maybe some cigarette cut.
Yeah.
Whatever, boot cut, cigarette cut, whatever
Yeah.
the hell it is.
Yeah.
If you know it makes you look bomb,
Yeah.
hold on to it.
Of course.
Again, I
Yeah.
know it's privileged to be able to fit into something even after 8 years, especially bottoms.
Yeah.
We tend to fluctuate a lot more in
I
our
have
bottom.
fluctuated a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, so then still keep it.
Yeah.
I think
I
tops are more
still have
timeless.
size
Yeah.
28, size 30, size 32 because I keep shifting between
Yeah,
those
yeah,
sizes all
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
But it's fine. Like, it's something, again, that's a personal perspective where I tend to keep things, but I always buy the best quality things. I don't care if it's a $500 thing. I will save for it. I'll go and buy that thing. That is something that has ethically come to me. And I'm only happy to pay the price for that thing if I know it's worth it. Like, I'm not gonna go to a very expensive brand and pay for a viscose fabric. That's because that's my knowledge, and I don't expect everyone to know that thing. But then start questioning yourself when you go to a store and you look at a piece, you find it, oh my god, it's so soft and beautiful or whatever.
I think you should educate
Please
people.
check the wash cares.
Check the wash care, and remember there was this one gorgeous piece that Kylie Jenner was shot wearing. It was
Yeah.
a nice butter yellow dress.
Yeah.
I was almost going to buy that dress and I sent it to her, by the way. And you said it was just viscose. Why are you paying this much money for viscose?
For viscose, yeah.
It was 4 figures, by the way. And
Yeah.
I just had my heart set on it. And I was like, no, it's a basic. I'm going to wear it. It's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Flash news? No, it's not. Because, again, why the hell am I paying for viscose? And the moment you took me through all of this,
Yeah.
my brain just reset because my whole logic was I'm going to get so much wear out of it.
Yeah.
And you immediately debunked that, saying
Yeah.
you're not.
Yeah.
The few times you're going to get it clean, this is going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Or it's just going to look shabby.
Yeah.
How the hell?
And that's a fact. Yeah.
Labels don't mean jack shit. Material means everything. If it's silk, if it's lined, absolutely worth all of that big money. And sometimes silk is going to be cheaper than those big brands. I forget
Yeah.
what brand that was, but it was some big label, like
Yeah.
some mainstream
Yeah.
designer label.
Yeah.
Again, shit. Designer labels disintegrated
Yeah.
over the years too. The way they used to do the original pieces a while ago
Yeah.
was different quality.
Yeah.
It was much more high quality,
Yeah.
as you can see in the thrift stores.
Of course.
But
Yeah.
now it's so different.
Yeah.
The jewelry, their designs, the way the silhouettes flow, the
Yeah.
material, all of it has been compromised to an
Yes.
extent. Even though the cost hasn't been,
No.
cost still runs high.
Yeah. I think we have to understand luxury, where luxury really sits. For example, there's this designer, his name is Jeffrey B. Small. Italian designer, and he has this website, very average looking website, but whatever garment he posts there, he's selling. If you ever go to his website and read the description of his garment, he explains that the fabric of this garment was sourced from this particular village, from this town, and this particular person, he'll actually name that person, and this particular person actually woven your garment. And then he'll explain about, there's another section of buttons. He'll go that these buttons, which are, say, I don't know, wooden or shell or whatever, and this material was sourced from this village, from this tree, by this man, and then it came to us.
Credit where credit's due. It doesn't just magically happen.
100%. His garments go for 10,000 euros, 15,000 euros. I'm not even exaggerating. It is way out of my budget. I'm not sure I could ever afford it. But people buy it. People buy it. He doesn't expect to do a mass production. He only do like 2 or 3 pieces. And that is something he's so passionate about. And if you ask me what luxury is, that is. It's not a random fancy brand which is saying that it's a silk or selling it as a poly or whatever, but charging you like $2,000 for a bag, which I know that it takes only $150 to make.
Yeah, that was the whole.
But when I go to Jeffrey B. Small and I know that what exactly luxury is, and I'm not aiming or asking you to buy a $10,000 piece, but it's just for your understanding and knowledge, that what exactly premium and what luxury is. And that is luxury. And we are unfortunately losing all of that. We are losing. I remember I took you to this, there was a shop they called Eastern Market.
Yes.
And if you remember, we saw this piece which was it was I think mulberry silk and with organza, and it had like 6 layers of mulberry silk, and it was about $1,500 a piece. It came somewhere from Europe, some designer producing, some local designer producing there, and I would buy it in a heartbeat if I had that kind of money. But the point is, that is what I would say a luxury is. That is something I would spend money on because I know nobody else is wearing it. That is something, the kind of produce they're doing, like the way it is coming from the handloom fabric or whatever, it is just so beautifully done. And that is what a premium luxury is, and that is what luxury was. If you go back to the times of kings and queens, that's how the things were made. That's how slowly the fashion was done. It was the detailing. It was the kind of buttons they were creating from metals. That's the kind of things they were producing. It's just it's lost its essence of luxury, if you'd say.
Because people are being sold the numbers a lot more. And I have said this over and over. Everything that TV and the media sells you, the target market is kids. And when I say kids, I mean all the adolescents as well, because they're so impressionable. They're just soft minds and they need some inspiration.
Easy to blend,
You sell them any nonsense and they're going to latch onto it. Fast fashion was created for that reason. And I immediately am like, okay, this just looks cheap. This looks like something a child would wear or somebody in college would wear. And that's what you see out in the market. That's immediately what my brain is associating it with. My target audience to have this conversation would be young girls because they need some inspiration. They need some context, some ideas. Again, they need to be willing to learn, of course. But not enough people are selling ideas. They're all selling materials. They're all selling products. And that's what all of the media and all of the socials are going to promote too. They're not going to let me reach the masses because I'm telling them how to think. I am giving them perspective. I'm not selling them a Shein code or anything. No. That's always going to be the challenge. I think we'll have to stop our first session at this point and we'll continue in part 2. There's so much fascinating history behind so many aspects of fashion. Every tiny detail that goes into it is fascinating, and I'm glad you're interested and invested in it. And I'm sure everybody's excited to see what more you'll bring. And all of us want to see more flattering silhouettes on girls too. I would still wear everything in your wardrobe, but then again, I am privileged enough to be able to. So I can. A lot of the people who have seen your pieces have loved it, and they would love to see more of it. So this would be amazing. Thank you so much for spending this session with me, a few sessions now with me. I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful to have you in the family, and grateful to learn so many things and to be even more conscious. Just when I thought I was conscious, you came into my life and changed my perspective even more. You can always do better. You can always do more. You just don't realize what to do. Question. Just keep questioning everything. Thank you so much for your time for this session, Abha.
Thank you.
And that was the Unhinged Potty episode for today. I hope you enjoyed. Reach out to us on the Unhinged Potty across all of our socials. Give me your comments. Give me any suggestions. Tell me what you would like me to talk about next. Until then, bye.
The Unhinged Potty.